Okay. Says I am live. Sweet. And while I'm live, I'm sure I don't know if anyone's actually watching. Let me check something real quick, guys. Let's see if a sound's coming through. Just want to check that. Testing 1 2. All right. So I am live. Sure, everyone's busy, but hey, gonna do this anyway. What's up, YouTube? It is me. It is me. It's that guy, Tommy, and I am here to talk to you all about Wrestle Kingdom. Shout out to Hiromu Takahashi, and also shout out to Mission Pro. Always can't wait for them to come back. So, it says I have somebody watching. Sweet. Well, okay, not anymore. That's probably when I was checking a second ago. I'm such a spaz sometimes. But yeah, Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. Like I said, gonna cover it tomorrow on the Countdown City WrestleCast. Be sure to check that out. It's gonna be a good show tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, around the same time, 9:15, 9:30ish, on Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel and Countdown City WrestleCast Facebook. So if you guys want to go over there and be sure to check it out, do that. If you do join this chat, be sure to leave me a comment or join the live chat, like, share, and subscribe. Do all the fun YouTube things. And yeah, let's get into it. While we're doing that, I also have some other things to check on because I always have things to do. Okay, so let's talk Wrestle Kingdom. I love Wrestle Kingdom. Like every single year, I stay up for it. It's something like I suffer for the next day because I'm always so tired the next day from uh, watching it. But I am never so tired that I'm like, ugh, I wish I hadn't done that. No, every time I watch Wrestle Kingdom, it's with the absolute thrill that I get to stay up and watch wrestling. That's what I love about it. It's I love it. It's so fun, and it's one of my favorite things to do, man. Wrestle Kingdom has always delivered to me, and while there have been better Wrestle Kingdoms, I will admit that this one wasn't a bad one. It's just that when you get the highs of something like I forget which Wrestle Kingdom it was. There was one that I was like, this has got to be one of the greatest wrestling shows I've ever seen in my entire life. It's one of the ones. This doesn't narrow it down. Where Okada faced Tanahashi. I think it was their last main event encounter when he finally beat Tanahashi in the Tokyo Dome because he had never done that. I'm looking for it right now. Oh, you know what? Shout out to cagematch.net, by the way, one of the greatest wrestling resources for wrestling fans on the entire internet. Like seriously, this is one of the best websites out there. What's it say? Oh my god, WrestleMania 7. Jeez Louise. It might have been 10. 9 was what happened on 9? 9 might have actually, you know what? It might have been 9. No, it wasn't. It was I no, it wasn't 9. But 9 was close. 9 was real close. 10 was probably the one I'm thinking of. Great Bash Shield defeated Bullet Club. Kushida defeated Kenny Omega. Shibata finished Ishii. Yeah, it was 10 because I remember that. I remember that marathon of the last 3 matches. Shibata, Ishii, Nakamura, AJ Styles, and Okada Tanahashi were the last 3 matches. So it was 10. That was like I was like mind blown of how good that show was. So yeah. But no, for Wrestle Kingdom 19. God, that means Wrestle Kingdom 10 was 9 years ago. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that was 9 years ago. Man, time is amazing. It really is. Uh, sorry, sending off a message, another message. It doesn't feel like that was 9 years ago. It really doesn't. Like 5 or 6, maybe. It doesn't feel like that it's been nearly a decade since Wrestle Kingdom 10. But yet it was. Golly, 2016. That was a crazy year for me, 2016, on a lot of levels. Man, I can't even get into all the stuff that happened in 2016 because, geez Louise, that was a crazy, crazy year. Not one of my favorites. I will admit that a lot of stuff happened in 2016 that I'm not really happy about, but it was a crazy year. Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom 19. Let's get into it. The pre-show Rambo match. I never feel like this is like supposed to be like a classic. I feel like this is the everyone gets the Wrestle Kingdom paycheck match, but highlight for me was Goto winning. I've been one of the people who wanted Goto and Ishii, Hiroki Goto, that is, and Tomohiro Ishii, to be world champions for years. And I don't even know how much Goto has left in the tank really, because he's been at this a while. I think he's won the G1. I think he's won the I know he's won the New Japan Cup before too. And oh snap, Burnsy in the building. What's up, man? Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you, brother. Um, yeah. So for Goto, wait, has Goto won both the New Japan Cup and G1? I want to say yes. I want to double check that for. He's won World Tag League a couple times, 3 in fact. New Japan Cup and G1 Climax. Yeah, he's won both. Okay. I want to make sure I said that right. So it's cool to see him get the title shot. I don't know if he's gonna beat Zack Sabre Jr. No offense to ZSJ, but I would just love to see Goto's world champion because I just love to see it. But great way to start the show. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Title match, Ichiban Sweet Boys, Intergalactic Jet Setters, who are the champions, Bullet Club War Dogs, Connors, and Maloney, and Catch 2-2 of Akira and TJP. This match was as insane as you kind of expected it to be because it's 8 junior heavyweights getting to just go crazy for the time allotted, and it's always it's as with always it always is the case. Excuse me. The opener for the New Japan, whenever it's the junior heavyweight tag title match, as it has been for years, really sets a precedent for the night in a good way. Really gives the crowd hyped up. Really lets the junior heavyweight showcase what they can do, and it's never a boring time. And the ladder match just made it even more so. Saw some stuff in there that not. I never want to say this as a offensive way to say it. It's not like they reinvented the wheel, but they pulled off some amazing stuff. I always feel the same way about like ladder matches and these kinds of matches, the same way I do about a lot of things in wrestling. I'm not looking for them to reinvent the wheel. I'm looking to see just how brave and how amazing that they're going to be, because I can't do the stuff that they can do. So I can't really say, oh, I've seen that before, because it's still these human beings putting their bodies on the line for our entertainment, for their craft, for their art, for their sport. Definitely sports related when you consider things like Japan and how they view pro wrestling. Yes, it's a show, but it's also something they take very seriously, especially in the case of guys like who did they mention? Was it Shota or was it Yuta Suji who was sending letters to wrestling schools at like age 8 so they could apply. I can't remember who they mentioned that said that, but yeah. Anyway, great opener, tons of fun. Shout out to Ichiban Sweet Boys, part of Team of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles, this is the second time he won the tag titles, and the second time he won them at Wrestle Kingdom, because he did this before. Yeah, with Tiger Mask. No, it wasn't Wrestle Kingdom. It was. Oh no, they successfully defended them in Wrestle Kingdom at Wrestle Kingdom 16, so 3 years ago. So yeah, I knew it was one day that they uh that they defended them one time. I just couldn't remember when. But yeah, shout out. As you'll soon see, it was a pretty good night for TMDK. With one exception. Anyway, next up was a match that I think didn't. I won't say stole the show, but it definitely was a dark horse candidate for one of the best matches of the weekend. That was Migi Iwatani versus AZM. Started off real heavy with AZM. Azumi just blasting Migi Iwatani like right away, but they definitely showed the Stardom spirit. They definitely showed what the wrestlers of Stardom are all about, what they can do, how they work, how tough they are. And Mayu Iwatani is, to me, hands down, one of the best wrestlers in the game right now. I don't know what her plans are for the future. Don't know if she's gonna, maybe go to WWE or Marigold or NXT or AEW or wherever she, I would love to see her stay in Stardom because I still think she is a huge player there. But I know that contracts are coming up for all over the place and things are going to change pretty soon. But I'm a huge Miyu Iwatani fan, have been for years, and she has consistently always been one of the best wrestlers on a card. If she's on a card, his match is going to be fantastic. I've only gotten to see her live, I think, one time. When in New Japan was in Dallas for, I think, Shootout. I think was the name of the show, and it was an honor to see her live. It was just fantastic, and she's a fantastic wrestler, and it was a great match. So, going on the New Japan World Television Championship. Here's what I didn't remember because last year was so crazy. Why El Phantasmo had not been in New Japan for a while. I completely forgot about and God forgive me and fans forgive me too. It slipped my mind about his cancer diagnosis. Completely forgot about that. And I am so sorry. I am a horrible person for forgetting that. And I hope I can be forgiven for that. So first and foremost, to ELP, dude, just glad you're back in wrestling. Glad you're doing better. Congrats on getting a clear bill of health. F cancer in all of its forms, because it sucks. I've lost so many friends and family to that terrible freaking disease. And again in its various forms. So happy for you that you're all good. The match itself was really good. So it was just checking something real quick. That's what I thought. It was Renda Rita of House of Torture, F House of Torture, because they all suck and they suck religiously. Defending his belt against Jeff Cobb, Rohei Oiwa of TMDK, Jeff Cobb of United Empire, and El Phantasmo. I'm looking. I don't think he's in a faction anymore. Yeah, I don't think he really is one. He was in Bullet Club, then in Guerrillas of Destiny, but since Guerrillas of Destiny isn't really a faction anymore, it's just more or less him and Jado on their own now. So yeah, but that match was a lot of fun. Jeff Cobb is a beast. Ryohei, he's got this is like the first time I think I've seen him really on his own, because unfortunately I haven't got a chance to watch a ton of New Japan. But last year was crazy busy. So hold on one second. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's really cool to see him kind of break out. TMDK is growing as a faction. Of course, building around Zack Sabre Jr. is really smart, because he's the freaking man right now, like for real. Renda Rita, I mean, as much as I hate House of Torture, he is a good heel, and And I love how when we thought we were getting like the second coming of Shibata, he switches up to this heel persona, and I do like that. El Phantasmo, man, just like it's like he never lost a step. It was just great to see him back. Burnsy, I had forgotten too, and I too lost friends, family to cancer. Cancer sucks, bruh. Preach it. Without getting too serious on this one, it's one of my biggest fears. Like when I hear about it, my dad had prostate cancer. He's clear now, by the way. Just he's fine. When he had it, we didn't talk about it, but I think individually we were all kind of freaking out because I didn't want to lose my dad, and just cancer anywhere near my family. I just hate it. Can't stand it. Um, but El Phantasmo with the win, becoming the New Japan World Television Champion. Um, Next up was a match that if Tanahashi had lost, I was going to be like, why? And it was Tanahashi versus Evil in a lumberjack match. Tanahashi lost. He would have had to retire. For those of you who don't know, and you may not, and this is not me, he's like, well, you should know, but you may not know. Tanahashi and ironically John Cena have announced individually that this is their last year of wrestling. The reason I brought up John Cena is because I still want an Ace versus Ace match with Tanahashi and John Cena. And before I move on from that, Big Mike on Cabinet City WrestleCast, shout out to Big Mike. He stopped me and said John Cena is the Ace, and whether people like it or not, yes, John Cena is the ace. Was the ace of WWE. I know that's not popular. I know people hate it, but regardless of how you feel, John Cena was the ace of WWE. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. Oh, and like Birds, if anyone else is watching, if you want to comment on something you liked or didn't like about the show, please let me know and put it in the chat. Leave a comment, share, and subscribe to anyone who if you know anyone who's watching. And yeah, appreciate it. Burns, you can't see me. Yeah, I know. And like it was really weird. Like on Raw this past Monday on Netflix, how they played John Cena's music and he didn't even bother to show up. That was weird. And then they held him to the ring for like 8 minutes, just filming the ring. I was like, wow, okay, weird way to spend TV time, but I guess there are worse ways. I'm gonna stop that joke right there before I say something that offends everybody. Anyway, Tanahashi won, Evil lost, thank God. So Tanahashi's gonna wrestle till I think his last scheduled match is Wrestle Kingdom next year. So January 4th, 2026 is the end of Tanahashi's wrestling career. And what a career it's been. I don't think I've gotten to meet. I actually got to meet Evil too before he was Evil when he was Takade Watanabe, and I don't mind. Man, this is so weird to say. I don't mind House of Torture as heels. It's just how they do it that really sucks. Bursy, I know, right? How rude. Well, you talk about the John Cena thing that I said earlier. Anyway, terrible joke. Um, Next up, probably would have been my match of the night had it not been for how much I love the main event and the story they told. Next up was Konosuke Takeshita putting the AEW International title on the line versus Shingo Takagi, who put the Never Openweight title on the line. Bruh, when I say this one was stealing the show for me, I am not kidding. I was like, dude. And this proved what I said like a year or two ago was right. When everyone was saying push Takeshita, push Takeshita, push Takeshita, I was like saying, guys, let them cook. Let them build this guy up. He's gonna be a major player, but y'all gotta give him time. Y'all can't just thrust the spotlight on him. You gotta give him time. And I kept telling people on Twitter and Facebook and all these other forums that I was like, guys, give them a chance to build Takeshita up. And the second that they finally pulled the trigger on it was the right time. And now, bruh, he is killing it everywhere. He is killing it everywhere. I was just on the edge of my seat with that match, and it lived up to the hype that I knew it was going to in my head. I have always been a Shingo Takagi fan. For those of you who know me, and those of you who know me know how much I love Ring of Honor. Those of you who don't, let me quickly explain. I've been a fan of ROH ever since about 2005, right? 2004, 2005. I found them because I used to watch compilation videos on YouTube of like different wrestlers, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Amazing Red. And then I started ordering the DVDs and I watched them. Shingo Takagi, who was in Dragon Gate at the time, did win their tag titles once. I think with Naruki Doi, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up. Ring of Honor. Naruki Doi. They were. What was there? Were they still Blood Generation at that time? I think they were. They might have because for those of you who don't know, Dragon Gate they changed factions they changed their socks. But I think they were Blood Generation at the time. So I've always been a Shingo Takagi fan. When he signed with New Japan, I was thrilled, and because I couldn't wait for the matches, and literally he lived up to the hype that I had in my head and exceeded, especially when he became world champion, was main eventing the company like he should. So match killed. Takeshita won and spectacular fashion, leaving no doubt that he is that dude that the people have been saying forever he could be. He proved it. He proved he's that dude. He really did. So I'm just so happy to see him get that rub because he earned it. He deserves it. He's been working hard for it for years, and he's finally getting his just due. Next up is a match that a lot of people are giving a low rating because of how it ended, but I refuse to give it a low rating because it showed two things: the true heart of professional wrestlers and the amazing officiating and how important referees are. It was El Desperado versus Doki for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. For those of you who don't know, during a spot, Doki went for a dive on the outside and dislocated his shoulder, and the referee stopped the match immediately and awarded the win to Despy, giving him the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. People have been giving this match a low score because it didn't finish, and while I respect that opinion, I still give it pretty high marks because it was great up until that point. It was a lot of fun, fast-paced action, great. And it just sucked what happened. And I refuse to sit here and say, well, Doki shouldn't have did this, Doki shouldn't have did that. No, it's pro wrestling. That is the danger of pro wrestling. And that is one reason why the men and women who are in this sport should be respected for what they do. And God bless the referee who said, nope, don't up that X, match is over. Because that protected Doki. And that, you know what? That's it. That protected Doki. That's the end of that conversation because nothing else matters but that. Because I would rather see a wrestler, if the injury happens, sadly, I'd rather see them recover later, safely, recover healthily, and the referee stop them for further damage can be incurred than anything else happen. So if the match has got to be stopped, it's got to be stopped. Sorry, guys. I'm just not going to hate on the referee for that. I'm not going to hate on the match for that because this is what pro wrestling can happen. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why we respect the wrestlers. That's why we respect what they do. So shouts out to Doki. Hope you get well soon, man. Take your recover safely. And El Desperado, still one of the best junior heavyweights of all time. Next up, a match that exceeded my expectations on several levels was Yota Tsuji facing David Finlay for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. For those of you who don't know, I'm a little harsh on David Finlay sometimes. I did not want him to win last year when the Global Heavyweight Championship was created. I didn't want him to win, but he's made a believer out of me. He really has. I think he's really grown into the role. Rumors that his contract's about up. I don't know if that's true, and I don't know if there's no rumors to where he's going next. It could be anywhere. That's kind of the beauty of pro wrestling right now. Guys can go anywhere right now. It's really good. But we'll see. Shouts out to Yota Tsuji, who's had just a banner past year because I honestly thought he was going to be the guy who unseated Naito after he won the New Japan Cup last year. And then he got all the way to the finals of the G1. And here's the thing, I wanted Zach to win the G1, like no question. I absolutely wanted Zach to win the G1, but I was not going to be mad if Yota won because that dude was having a banner 2024. And I think between him, Shota, Ren, and Yuya Uemura, I think 2025 is just going to be the year of this new generation, man, because they are all stepping their game up. And Yota Tsuji, but all due respect to David Finlay, again, who has been killing it this past year, especially with the War Dogs, especially with how he has presented Bullet Club, how he's been taking care of things. He's really proved he deserves to be in those spots. But that match absolutely belonged to Yoda. Yota Tsuji absolutely deserved to win that match, deserved to be in that spot. He earned it, he deserved it, and what happened should have happened. So Yoda won, new global heavyweight champion. I think only the fourth guy to win the belt because David Finlay won the first one. Then Nick Nemeth beat Finlay for it, and then Finlay won it back. So he's only the fourth person to hold that championship. And I think this could be a banner title run like that helps make that belt even more so than what David Finlay did. And again, all due respect to David Finlay, he killed it as champion. He did a real good job. He was the perfect evil champion that belt needed to make it like someone get it off of him. I think, in my opinion. Next up, the semi-main event was a special singles match that had implications going back to 2020. It was Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi. For those of you who don't know, right before the world shut down in 2020 because of COVID, Naito and Takahashi and Hiromu were supposed to face each other. But because everything shut down, that match never happened. I'm pretty sure it never happened at all. Like I don't think they ever got to have that one-on-one match that they both wanted. Like they both wanted to have that match. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it only happened at Wrestle Kingdom that one time because it has never happened before. But yeah, Naito won, and Naito unfortunately is someone else I think we're gonna see have to retire pretty soon. They mentioned a lot of the surgeries he's been having for his eyes, his knees and everything. But if he's close to retiring, which does make me sad, but I can understand why. It's really cool that he's been able to go this long and this hard with his career. The match to me was great. Told a story of student and teacher. And so I was surprised Naito pulled out the win. I definitely would have thought Takahashi would have won. But I also have a feeling this coming year could be the year Takahashi starts to really break through the ceiling of only being a junior heavyweight. I think from how he's presented, he wants to stay junior heavyweight, but still be able to compete in heavyweight level matches. And I think he can do it. And I'd like to see if that plays out that way. Because I remember like when Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega both left the junior heavyweight division. Like they left that division altogether. They didn't compete both ways. And I feel like Takahashi wants to compete both ways, kind of in the same way like Jushin Liger or Tiger Mask did it. Those examples work. But we'll see. We'll see. I think either way, Takahashi really does a good job of being one of the most fun players in New Japan, and Naito one of the OGs. And now let's get to the main event. In a match that even I was skeptical about. I will fully admit this in front of everyone. I was skeptical about this. Zack Sabre Jr. putting the IWGP World Heavyweight title on the line against Shota Umino. With no disrespect intended to Shota whatsoever, I wasn't sure how he'd do in this main event spot. Like many people, I was concerned. Were they pushing him too far, too fast? Were they? And of course, the story he was telling of always making these promises, always saying what he'd do, and then falling short like every single time. And then like even in the, because I think, was he in the G1? Let me double check, man. Again, last year. Yeah, but he was eliminated before the semifinals. He didn't even, place. But but he did get a win over Zach. That was the important thing. He got a win over Zach, which gave him this title shot. And for those who don't know, why Zach went in with the belt instead of after winning the G1 challenging at Wrestle Kingdom, which is traditionally what happens. What happened was after he won the G1, Zach made it clear he wanted to go into Royal Quest, which was in London, as champion. So he challenged Naito back at King of Pro Wrestling in October, so he could go into Royal Quest later that same month as champion. So that's all that went down. A lot of people who I've seen online have been down on this match. With respect to everyone's opinions, I disagree. This match had the proper amount of drama to it that is sometimes missing from pro wrestling. I'm not saying every match needs to have this. I'm not at all saying that. Some matches are exactly what they need when they need it. Some are all about the action. Some are all literally all about the drama. Some are all about the spots and the moments, not necessarily the the technical prowess. Some are all about the violence, and all that's fine. All of that is fine. There, I feel like all styles of pro wrestling are necessary to make pro wrestling amazing. Like you need the serious, you need the comedy, you need the violence, you need the destruction, you need the grace, you need the beauty, you need the technicality, you need the rough and tumble, you need the big man wrestlers who punch. You need the junior heavyweights who flip and dive. You need the technical guys who know all the holds and stuff. Shout out to Skyday, who's one of the best to ever do it and one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But yeah, you need all that. This match was about the story of Shota proving he deserved to be there and Zach proving he deserved to be the main event and the mainstay of the company. And Zack Sabre Jr. to me earned that long ago because for a lot of people know this, but some of you who don't, when COVID happened, Zach was one of the foreigners who stayed in Japan to continue to not only hone his craft, but to help build New Japan up when it felt like it was about to just go under because of COVID and how it affected not pretty much all of Japan, not just New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've always respected Zach. I've actually, and Zack Sabre Jr. is another guy who I've met before. He's actually one of the most humble guys I think I've ever met. When I met him, it was at it was at VIP Wrestling. Shout out to VIP. And he said to me, he's like, I can't believe this many people in Texas know who I am. This is like in 2017 or 18. And I was like, dude, man, we love you. We love you, dude. You're a great wrestler. So he's one of the nicest guys ever. He's one of the most humble guys ever. And I got nothing but respect for that dude. Seriously. He's just so so awesome. And it's so great to see his success. He's earned it. He deserves it. He's one of the greatest technical wrestlers, not just right now, but probably of all time. And he earned all the success. That match was just short of being one of the longest Wrestle Kingdom main events ever. It clocked at 43 minutes 44 seconds, and was an absolute just storied match, and it needed to be. It was a great story of a match. I think with matches like that, for a lot of fans, what turns them off is the fact that it's a story, and I get it. But not every match is Rock Austin, if that makes any sense. Whereas, and I'm specifically talking about WrestleMania 17, because while that one isn't that one is a story as well. It's a story in terms of what they themselves wanted, as opposed to a match like this in terms of what Zach and Shota had been promising. If anyone can, let me explain further. Rock and Austin, and by the way, let me make this clear. I'm not saying that this is on the level of what Rock and Austin did at 17. All due respect to these two, it's not, because Rock and Austin, that was years and years built up for that match. So I'm not saying that these are comparable in terms of what they brought to the table. I'm saying they're comparable in terms of the story they were telling. Rock and Austin to me were where it was like, it's like it was terms of like Rock saying, I'm going to keep this belt, and Stone Cold saying, I need that belt. I need to be champion again. That's what that was saying. Zach and Shota, to me, was saying, these are two guys who are promising the New Japan audience and company itself that they were the guy that would lead the company to the future. That they were the guy to take this company forward. They were the flag bearers. And that and not only that, in terms of Shota, to prove he deserved to be in the main event picture. You see, with Rock and Austin, they already proved they could be in the main event picture. In fact, everyone knew that they were the main event picture. In this match, you had two guys who had never, in their entire careers, main evented Wrestle Kingdom ever, not once. Matter of fact, neither guy even came close. And a matter of fact, with Shota, was this his first Wrestle Kingdom? I think I'm wrong about that. Let me see. No, this couldn't have been his first one. No, he tagged with Kaito Kiyomiya at 18. He tagged with Tanahashi and Keiji Muto at 17. And I was a fan fest, so that one doesn't count. So yeah, so no, so it wasn't his first one, but excuse me, it was definitely his first one with a title on the line, and the first one that it was a one-on-one match, and definitely his first main event. For Zach, yeah, Zach had been in a number of Wrestle Kingdom matches long before this. Let's see who else had he faced. He faced Tanahashi for the World Television title at 18, and well, no, he defended the title against Tanahashi at 18 and lost. He faced he faced Ren Narita for the television title at 17 and beat him for when the title was vacant. I think that was when they were crowning the first champion. He teamed with Suzuki Gun against Lij in the pre-show of day 2 of the Tokyo Dome. Dangerous Tekkers. Oh man, I miss Dangerous Tekkers. I really do. Actually, I think that was one of Taichi's best tag teams. It was Taichi and ZSJ when they lost the titles to Chaos of Goto and Yoshihashi at Wrestle Kingdom. Dangerous Tekkers again lost to Girls of Destiny at 50. So yeah, I'm just now at this point. I'm just looking at the number of times Zach has been in Wrestle Kingdom matches. Yeah, he's been in every one since Wrestle Kingdom 12, where he was in a 4-way gauntlet for the never openweight 6-man tag belts. But yeah, he's been in every single Wrestle Kingdom since then. Yeah, but never the main event. So yeah, this is a match where they were just proving they deserve to be there, proving that this wasn't a mistake by the front office to put them in this position. This wasn't a mistake, or this wasn't a mistake by anyone booking it. This wasn't that this was to say Zach deserved, had earned being world champion. He proved he deserved it. This was Shota proving he deserved to be number one contender. He deserved to be in the main event Wrestle Kingdom spot. And to me, they proved it. I absolutely think that they proved it. Hats off to both of them. I think this match had the right amount of drama, right amount of drive, right amount of what I want to say, right amount of strength to it to really prove that they deserved it. All in all, for me, Wrestle Kingdom, and I'll say this again tomorrow on the WrestleCast. I'm not giving it the full 5 this year, but I am going to give it a 4.5. That's probably the first Wrestle Kingdom I'm not giving a full 5, but I'm giving it a 4.5. Not their best. I'll confess that, but when a 4.5 is not your best, that's saying a lot. So I definitely loved it. If you're a wrestling fan, go check it out. If you're watching this later, what did you think of Wrestle Kingdom? Leave me a comment down below. And again, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Moving on to the next night, Wrestle Dynasty. And let me first of all, and starting off with the two opening pre-show matches, I do have a personal bias in both, because in the International Women's Cup final, Athena, Texas legend, was in it. Spoiler, lost. She was the one who got pinned by Momo Watanabe, which is crazy to think about. And then, of course, in the ROH World Tag Titles, Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, again, both Texas boys, defeating House Torture of Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to everyone for this past weekend. But before we go into more about Wrestle Dynasty is a multiple company promoted show hosted by New Japan at the Tokyo Dome, but also presented by AEW, that's All Elite Wrestling, CMLL, I will not butcher their name by saying it wrong because my Spanish is decent at best when I know everything, Stardom, and Ring of Honor. So for the International Women's Cup final, Momo Watanabe representing Stardom, she won, but defeating Athena representing ROH, Persephone representing CMLL, and Willow Nightingale representing AEW. So, and then of course, Sons of Texas representing Ring of Honor with the ROH World Tag Belts, successfully defending against House of Torture of New Japan. Lucha Gauntlet. Again, hell of a way to kick off the official the official start to the show. With Taiji Ishimori of New Japan defeating Desperado of New Japan, Hachiseto of Semelo, Kosei Fujita of New Japan. See, Mascara Dorada, where officially is he? He's in CMLL. Okay, I just want to make sure. CMLL, Master Wato of New Japan, Sobrano Jr. of CMLL, and okay, Titan. He's another cross promotion dude. He's everywhere. He's in CMLL and he's in New Japan. If I'm not mistaken, isn't he in LIJ too? Yeah, he's in LIJ. He's officially in LIJ. Gosh, these guys are all over the place. Anyway, Taiji Ishimori, I'm more than positive, is now the new number one contender for the IWGP World Junior Heavyweight Championship. I mean, because Desperado was in the match and didn't win. So, we'll see stuff. Oh, and speaking of title implications, Momo Watanabe winning the International Women's Cup means she can challenge for any belt she wants. But the interesting thing about that is she pinned Athena. Athena has not been pinned in over a year, well over a year. So, what does that say? Because she's still ROH Women's Champion, and she has been. Got to use this old joke. Her back must be tired from carrying ROH this entire time, and so. And I love ROH, and I love this iteration of ROH, and I still know Athena's been carrying it. So yeah. Moving on. I forgot to. Oh my god, I forgot to bring this up. How happy I was when this happened. Okay, so during the lumberjack match, after it was over and after Tanahashi beat Evil, the New Japan regular army and House Stars were fighting, and one lone man in an AEW jacket storms the ring, removes his hood to reveal Katsuyori Shibata, one of the nicest dudes who I know can kick your head off I've ever met in my life. And he helped Tanahashi and then said to Tanahashi, "If you're not tired, let's wrestle tomorrow." And I got so happy I woke my whole house up. I said, "Let's run it back. Let's run it back," and they did. So they had a 5-minute exhibition, all strikes, the boom, 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 which is what they do. And it was a 5-minute exhibition match, and you could see the results on Tanahashi's chest. I don't ever want to be chopped by Shibata, but it does sound like a lot of fun. Anyway, but just great to see. Anytime I see Shibata in the ring, I'm happy. I don't care. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and it sucked when he got that injury. It didn't suck that he had to stop because it was for health reasons, so I'm not mad about that. It just sucked that it happened. Next up, Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa. Mercedes Moné putting the New Japan Strong Women's title on the line versus Mina Shirakawa's Revolution Pro. I want to say Revolution Pro, which is in Britain. Undisputed British Women's Championship. With Mercedes Moné winning the whole shebang. The reason I'm pausing is because I don't know how to approach this subject, because I don't want to start a firestorm in later comments if someone watches this video back and say, "Well, this is what she does." I just don't get the Mercedes Moné hate that she gets. I know it's just probably a bunch of tribalism, and that's probably it's just tribalism, but it's just so unnecessary. I don't like that. I don't like people being unnecessarily cruel to a wrestler for taking their career elsewhere. I really don't like that. And has everything she's done been stellar? No. But then again, you can say that about literally any wrestler. For all of my favorites, they have their bad moments and bad matches, because that's how wrestling works. Excuse me. But yeah, happy to see that Mercedes is now having these, killer matches that, everyone knows she can't have. She's had a slew of them, especially since towards the tail end of 2024. And this was another banger of a match. And Mina Shirakawa, to me, she's always fun to watch, always fun to see get in the ring, do her thing. And she doesn't disappoint to me, but that's just, my opinion. And so it was fun to see the match, and they really, really had a great fun match. Mercedes Moné with the win. She's now she thinks she even has a third title somewhere, I think. So she's 4 belts Moné at this point. And I would love to see a celebration with her and Bailey and Naomi, since they're all really friends in real life, that, and people kind of hate that. But yeah. Next up is a match that I can't believe I'm saying this was a sleeper hit. And it's not that I'm surprised that it was a sleeper hit because it's like I just can't believe this match was as fun as it was, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I think Finley winning might have been the right decision. It's David Finley versus Brody King, and listen, I love Brody King. To me, he's one of the best big man wrestlers going right now. He really is. But David Finley winning, I think was the right call because Finley's really made a believer out of me. I really did question the spot he got put in, but he's really made a believer out of me. He's done really well the past a year or so. Great match. Brody King always shining. David Finley really coming into his own. So yeah, it was a great match. Hard hitting. Brody King just being this massive force of nature that he is, and it was just really fun to see. Shota Umino versus Claudio was again a proving ground match to me, and not a literal proving ground match like in Ring of Honor to see if you could be the contender for the championship. But to me, the I deserve to be here match, the I deserve to be in the spot match, the I have earned the right to stand here match. That's what this match was to me. And shouts out to Shota beating Claudio. Because that was really cool. It was a great match. Claudio, that man is a pro wrestling machine. That man is literally. I would not be surprised if years down the line we find out. Okay, guys, Claudio actually was a cyborg. We were lying to y'all for years. No, we knew he was a cyborg. Y'all don't have to tell us that. But it was such a good match. Shouts out to Shota bouncing back after that loss. I feel like this is going to be the beginning of his redemption story. I feel like we're going to get a Shota redemption story before this year's out, or maybe even going into Wrestle Kingdom next year. We'll see. But I think this is how you build those top stars. This is how you build them up, and I love that the new generation like Shota is getting to prove that. Speaking of the new generation, to the next match, which again was a barn burner. Just get Takeshita putting both his previously held title and his newly won belt on the line against Tomohiro Ishii. So JC and Mike made the joke of like AEW fans are always going to be like, yeah, Tomohiro Ishii never wins anything. So why is it such a big deal when he shows up? And I guess this is just the New Japan fan in me coming out. It's just so cool to see him more often on American TV because I'm such a huge fan. Again, somebody else I met because he's just that kind. He's another guy to me is like a force of nature. Takeshita has just been growing into his own ever since especially joining the Don Callis family. He's really been growing into his own. Another stellar match, another barn burner. They just tore the house down again, and it was just so good to see. So shouts out to Takeshita defeating Ishii. Ishii is another guy. I won't be surprised if we hear as a cyborg later on in life because I don't know how he's still going after the hits and shots he's both delivered and taken. Next up, IWGP heavyweight tag titles on the line in the three-way triple threat match. The titles were vacant at this point because the previous champions were Great-O-Khan and Henare. Henare sadly suffered an injury like right before Wrestle Kingdom, which sucks because originally this match was scheduled to be United Empire of Great-O-Khan and Henare defending against the Young Bucks, and it just broke my heart that he couldn't make it because of injury. But Great-O-Khan brought in his fellow United Empire member Jeff Cobb as his tag partner instead, and they've actually held the tag belts before. Those two, and didn't they win a tournament together? They did. They did not. They were in World Tag League, and they've been in the semifinals before, but they did not win it. But they have won. Yeah, they've won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles before. Also, that was a late addition to the match made the night before. LIJ of Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito, who actually did win World Tag League this year, used that to challenge in this match as well, making it a triple threat match for the tag titles. And much to my surprise, the Young Bucks won. I was actually thoroughly shocked. I could have swore that like especially after LIJ, my money's on LIJ But then that was kind of like, yeah, you're not an Empire since it's Khan and Jeff Cobb. But when the Young Bucks won, I was thoroughly surprised. I was impressed. It was a great match. The Young Bucks, really, of course, going fitting into the EVP side of things. Oh, we did this, we did this, we did this, blah blah blah, and everything. It was great. Next up, Yoda Tsuji versus Jack Perry. Jack Perry again, still with the scapegoat, and I keep forgetting he's technically part of House of Torture as well as the Elite. Um, not so much to say about this match, except that it was pretty good. I'm not. I think in terms of the rest of the card, it kind of got lost. It kind of gets lost in the shuffle, but it doesn't make it a bad match. I just feel like it wasn't as good as everything else on the card, but it was a great match. Lots of fun, lots of good moments. Shouts out to Yosuji successfully defending the belt he just won less than 24 hours ago. Him and a couple other guys, him and Takeshita having that in common. Uh, Next up was probably the match of the weekend. Damn, this match was so good. Kenny Omega making his return to the ring after over a year dealing with diverticulitis, and going up against the loudmouth himself, Mister I got something to say about every company, Mister New Japan at this point, Gabe Kidd. Yo, when I say this match lived up to the hype, it 100% did. It 100% did. Any doubts about Gabe Kidd's ability in the ring should not be there anymore. He went into a match with Kenny Omega and looked like 1,000,000% he deserved to be there and had every right to be there. I had doubts. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I had doubts if Gabe Kidd could pull this off. I was wrong. Gabe Kidd, you made a believer out of me, sir. You earned it. You deserve all the credit you're getting because you are the real deal. And damn it, that was amazing. Kenny Omega returning after all this time, looking like he didn't lose a day, and then Gabe Kidd stepping up like he's always deserved to be there. They pulled off a stellar match. That's one thing about New Japan. How they have it's actually a lot of Japanese shows do this. How they have match of the year candidates in like the first 3 days, first 4 or 5 days of the new year. That's just like not fair. But yeah. Omega and Kid, man, that's gonna be talked about for a while, and it should be. It really should be. Kenny Omega looked like the same $1,000,000 he's always been, and Gabe Kidd looked like the $1,000,000. It really did. That match was so good, and I think that's another reason why I say like Yoda Suji and Jack Perry got lost in the shuffle because that went on immediately after. Because on Cage Match, the Yoda Suji Jack Perry match has a low score. It has a 5.1 out of 271 votes. That's a really low score, and I don't think that match was anywhere near that bad. It was like a 7 to me at most, maybe a 6 at the worst. But it was the fact that Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd was immediately after that. That's probably what for the whole show. That's what happened at that. But I can't even get into everything that happened in that match. It felt like they pulled out everything they could almost legally get away with that match that they did. Tables, chairs, uh, you know, bringing up Kenny's injury. Gabe Kidd running his mouth and everything. It just all came out and did a fantastic job. One winged angel, boom, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega wins. But shouts out to Gabe Kidd, who 100% proved he's one of the best right now. He proved it, and there's just no getting around that. Whether you like him or not, he proved it. Lastly, for the weekend, Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Ricochet, which had been established about a month or so before that Ricochet would face Zack anyway, but it was more predicated with the world title on the line, depending on what happened the night before. This match was a clash of styles. And I mean that in the best way. Ricochet with the high flying versus Zack Sabre Jr. with the round game. Now this I did look up during the match because I couldn't because I knew they had faced each other at PWG because I'm a big Pro Wrestling Guerrilla fan, which I think shut down for at least for the time being. Yeah, I think Pro Wrestling Guerrilla is now defunct. Because I meant to check that before, but I can look it up now. Yeah. Well, I do know that that the the Globe Theater ring out of did shut down, and that Super Dragon put this company on indefinite hiatus while he takes care of some family stuff. So will they come back? Who knows? Hopefully, when all's straightened out and all's good. I'll put it that way. When all is good, they'll come back, but not before. Super Dragon, take care of your family. Do what you got to do, man. But as far as Ricochet and Sabre, they have faced a number of times before. I just want to see one-on-one matches. Here we go. Yeah, so they faced each other 7 times prior to Wrestle Dynasty, with the record of who has more wins going in Zach's favor. Ricochet 3 wins over him, and Zach has 4. Of course it does, because that equals 7. This match was a lot of fun too. I did love it because we were also getting this heel version of Ricochet, who after the Dynamite the Wednesday before, where he attacked Swerve Strickland with the pair of scissors. Really, this darker Ricochet, which I suspected was coming for a while. I felt like his online presence was building up to this all along. Like he was doing that on purpose. I felt like he was purposely doing that to be the bad guy. Like, and not that he's like never said anything online before, but I felt like that was the point of this one. As a clash of styles, Ricochet did a lot of high flying, of course, but he also did a lot of straight up attacks. What I mean by that is like straight up, punch, kick, blah blah blah. So yeah, shouts out to Ricochet for really not just doing just the flippy stuff that everyone always complains about. He really shows that he does the flippy stuff because he's good at it, because it's fun for the crowd. But he can do the other stuff too. With, like, of course, if you're a fan of his, you always knew he could. That wasn't surprising. Um, Zack Sabre Jr., of course, 2 nights in a row had still proved that he deserved to be at the top of New Japan. Proved it twice. 2 great matches, back to back nights, and 2 successful title defenses. And it's funny to me because on night 1 he actually pinned Shota Umino as opposed to making him tap out, and in night 2 he made Ricochet submit because Ricochet couldn't tap out because Zack had both of his arms tied up and he couldn't tap out. He had to scream yes when her Red Shoes asked him, "Do you want to give up?" Yeah, so much like Wrestle Kingdom, I give Wrestle Dynasty a 4.5 as well. Both just stellar shows, man. Both just really, really stellar shows. And again, like I said, if 4.5 is the worst is the worst you can do for shows, 2-night events at the Tokyo Dome, yay. Really trying to get away from this tribalism stuff. Talk about the good, talk about the bad, but like both everyone has good and bad in both ways, because no company is perfect. Every company has people. People have egos. They have things like that. Blah blah blah. This and such. So yeah, just shouts out to both companies. Sorry, I just remember something I had to do. So that's my thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. Sorry. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, and I'm glad for whoever watched this now, whoever watches it later. I appreciate all of you checking this out. It means a lot. Shouts out to Bernsey, who I think I had to probably clock out early because he gets up super early, guys. So I'm not surprised if he had to clock out already. But if you guys have any thoughts about Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty, please leave them in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Check me out on Countdown City Geeks and Countdown City WrestleCast. Countdown City Geeks tomorrow on YouTube and Countdown City WrestleCast tomorrow on Facebook. We will be going live to talk about this past weekend and upcoming shows. Hybrid is this weekend, as well as TWA is Hybrid's on Saturday. TWA is on Friday, so it's going to be right back in the saddle with wrestling weekends, baby. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you so much, and we'll see you, and hopefully get to do this again pretty soon. So see you guys in the future, and happy wrestling, everybody. Minasan, sayonara, peace.